Hi, Matthew Archambault from drawingtutorialsonline.com, and let's get into part two of this two-point perspective demo. Now, basically, before I zoom in, because I don't want this to be too small on the video screen for too long, I've established the 2 points, okay, and I found them. You basically find the 2 points by, just pulling a line down, pulling a line up, and where they touch is a point, and then, do the opposite, pull a line down, pull line up, and so you've got to have both of those points on one eye level line. Your eye level line is where your eyes are, the height of your head. Okay, so now let's just zoom this in so you can actually see it. That would be nice, and give me a moment to just kind of zoom in one more time. Okay, yeah, that's still on our screen. Okay, sorry for that. Now let's just kind of go for it. And actually, yeah, that's good. All right, let's get into a little bit more detail now with this, and I just want to clean some areas up, and a little smaller brush would be nice. Cool. So now, going back to this box, I think I might have zoomed in a little bit too much, but we're just going to kind of keep it here for now. Just want to solidify certain things here in the foreground, just clean this up. Okay, so we've got that box, that goes back, and the base of this column is a box as well. Most things that's going to go up, that's going to go up, that's going to go to that side, that's going to go to that side. Most of the things that you're going to draw when it comes to perspective, they're all, I wish there was a fancier way of me saying this, but basically everything that you draw in life is housed in the box. You're sitting in a box, you're probably sitting on a chair that looks like a box. So if you can master drawing a box shape, you can master perspective. Okay, so now all this is going to go up, this little bench thing. Let's solidify this platform as well that is housing this statue. And let's get rid of all the light. Okay, and I wish I would have been a little bit more thoughtful as to the shape. It went a little modern art on me right over there, but that's okay. Now let's solidify this as well. And we'll get into atmospheric cast shadows in a second. Now, I just want to solidify this column, and let's just stick with the perspective. Smaller brush. This has to go up. It's starting to get more level because we're getting closer to our eye level line. I am working in CS2 today, very old CS2, on a Cintiq put out by Wacom. Some people say Wacom, company says Wacom. Okay, so now I've got that established, and so pretty much what I want to do is really lessen my opacity, get a bigger brush, and create some atmosphere. Pull down. We got glossy marble floors, and so there's lots of reflections, and they're all coming straight down, almost like water would come straight down. I feel like I got to solidify this a little bit more. Okay, so let's zoom out. And now when you squint at it, you don't have to squint at it because it definitely got smaller. This was the first one that I did actually that I didn't love, but I do like the way that I did the reflections in this. We're gonna save this puppy. Yeah, let's save that. Get that out of the way so it doesn't bother us. So now this one isn't as atmospheric as that previous one. So what I'm gonna do is just play around with some of the stuff. Let me zoom in slightly, just because I feel it was too small for you guys watching. There's all these patterns in the marble floor, and all of the patterns go with perspective. That has to go up to that point. And what you really want to focus on is getting rid of all of your lights in the shadow. So now let's focus on like a statue in the background a little bit. Let's go lighter. Because of atmospheric conditions, statues would get much lighter in the background. And I'm going to just lay in Too light. Got a platform back here. Okay, so this has to go to the left. And let's just say, for argument's sake, we had somebody standing right in front of it looking at this statue. Their head would be at this eye level line. Feet would be like a little bit lower. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter with this, more atmosphere. Let's say this statue had like a little arm coming out, and let's put in some top planes. Okay, so basically we've got a person here, we've got a little person right over here, and let's soften some stuff up. Put some surface planes in on some of these goodies. And let's get into some of the background. Let me go back here. And let's just put some tone into the negative space. Lessen the opacity. Let's get rid of what I just did. Lessen the opacity a little bit more. I want this to go way back. And make these columns really vibrant. I've got to work on the wall over here in the courtyard. And maybe I'll put in another statue. There's really like 100 statues in this room. It's really nuts. It's such a fun place to draw. If you're ever in New York City, if you don't live here, you definitely want to go and you want to draw at the Met in the Roman wing. It's just awesome. It's really a good room to draw in. So now we've got that courtyard. If squinting at it, I think what I'm going to do is just focus in on some detail. Very light. There's a window up here, and this whole courtyard is kind of bathed in light. So we've got some architectural parts over here that are casting a little bit of a shadow. And I think what I want to do is just gotta watch my time. I'm gonna extend this tutorial for members of Drawing Tutorials Online. It's gonna be more about just painting digitally, but for right now, YouTube and the rest of the video sites that this quick tip of the week is on, it's mainly about perspective. Right now I'm getting it into a little bit more of the realm of painting, and let's just zoom in one more time. Digital painting, that is. So where can I go next with this to help you guys? Let's just kind of get the top columns in a little bit more prevalent where they touch the ceiling, and just let's focus in on that in perspective. So pretty much we're going to be drawing some boxes again. So this has to come down all the way to my point. This side has to come down to the point to the left. Okay, let's put a little box in over here, and the other side. I know that's hard to see, so I think what we've got to do is really up that opacity. And let's make for a smaller brush. You got to get into the habit when you draw in perspective of getting like a rhythm, and you never want to pull to the object that you're drawing. You always want to, I'm getting into a bad habit right now on screen, you always want to pull down to the point. Pull down to the point, establish that rhythm, because I think that's going to be really helpful for you. I know I make my students draw on 11 by 4, not 11 by 14, that's actually too small, 18 by 24 pads when we do perspective, and it really is a good way to draw. I make them draw the classroom in 2-point perspective, but before I do that, I make them work from Xerox copies of some perspective drawings, and then I make them draw the room. And I think that's much more helpful to learn in perspective. I used to make them just draw the room, which was not good. So pretty much, let's just kind of establish this box one more time. And then I'm going to close out with saying one last thing, and then I'm just going to kind of finish this painting for members of Jordan Tutorials Online. Just came out with a new blog. You probably might even be watching this video on the blog. If you're not watching the video on the blog, just go to jordantutorialsonline.com. To the right side of the website, just you can see the blog link. Just click on it, and got a new WordPress blog happening. I kind of dig it. So I would never outline like that in a digital painting to create atmosphere, but I want to outline. Let's label these A and B, A and B. So now let's zoom out, trying to get our points on the screen. Good. So basically this is going to be point A, and this is going to be point B. Anything that is this side, this surface plane, has to go here. And anything that is B has to go to point B. So this has got to tilt that way. That has got to tilt that way. This has got to tilt that way. This has got to converge to that point. That was really a terrible line. Let's do that again, straighter. So now even this wall way back here in the background has to go to point B, because this is wall B and this is wall A. Wall A has to kind of come down this way. Okay, so I hope that made sense for you. That's 2-point perspective. You decide that it's 2-point perspective because you are not let's say here's your drawing board. It is not parallel with the room. I'm facing the corner of the room. So I'm going to work on this a little bit more. I hope that you enjoyed this. Maybe what I'll do next time is a little 3-point perspective. So thanks for watching.